Last time on Have PPC Will Travel. Sabrina Christian managed to suppress the Marek forces long enough for the Lyran commander to fall back, but in so doing she has found herself in an even worse position. Her mech, having its armor shredded in several locations, knocked to the ground and surrounded by the enemy. On the other side of town, one of the dragoons spied the reckless charge Scorpion and Foolish Bear had made and reacted quickly to cut them off. His first target was Foolish Bear, whom, after a quick firefight, he knocked down into the quickly shifting sands. Foolish Bear found he was unable to stand back up with the storm raging around him. In a panic, he ejected, but due to the poor angle of the mech, the seat ended up skipping across the ground several times before embedding itself in a sand dune. With one foe now dealt with, the fire starter turned and searched for the other mech. After a few seconds, he spied the Mercury when it fired wildly at one of the LRM carriers. When she turned to circle back, he quickly moved to cut her off. After another quick firefight, the Mercury suffered catastrophic damage to its legs and fell to the ground. As the sands continued to blow, the fire starter once again had one of the mercenaries helpless at his feet.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Megamek, where we're ejecting left and right. Hopefully we're not going to be too far down. They are just two of our lighter mechs. I am going to go ahead and eject the Mercury as well, probably. We lost initiative, so we go first. That's wonderful news. We have one crew ejected. Killed. Or at least critically wounded. Unconscious out there. Everybody assumes he's dead. Sorry, heavily damaged one, that's going to be the Mercury, which is going to soon be over here in the destroyed tab. But you see here, we still have 91% of our unit going here. Team 2, they're down to 85%, so we're whittling them down. They've got 3 destroyed units, all the crews are trapped, so they're still alive. 2 of them have heavy damage, 2 of them have light damage. Designated target. We still need to get on that. Okay, crew, for the sake of everybody's sanity, I'm going to try to do something a little bit different here going forward. And in the piloting and gunnery phases, I'm going to spend a little bit of time just telling you kind of what my thoughts are. We'll speed up the film, kind of like I used to do. But I want to give you a little bit more idea of what I'm doing, because I don't want you to miss out on like what I'm thinking and what the enemy is doing. And also, originally when I was filming this, I wasn't planning on doing this. In the future, I probably will account for that in the video itself, so I might do some of this beforehand, which will make my life a heck of a lot easier. But that's where we stand right now. So let's go on into there. The way I was looking at this map at this point is it kind of feels like it's split into kind of 3 distinct areas. You kind of have your southwest quadrant, your northwest quadrant, and your southeast quadrant. Starting in the southeast, we kind of are in a little bit of a stalemate. We're just kind of jockeying for position. The only worrying thing that's really happening over there is Boss Lady in her Wolverine. We kind of had her exposed, and she was on the ground at the start of the round. I did have her stand up. I saw a stinger right in front of her. I was like, well, I'll just stand up and I'll blast this stinger to pieces. I did that. I completed the turn, and all she ended up doing was standing up. She successfully stood up, but she's exposed to a lot of fire. That was kind of a tactical mistake. She has no modifiers to her defense, and she was already kind of internal a little bit. But moving over to some of these other areas, let's go to the northwest for now. Kind of things are in a little bit of a stalemate. The only thing that's up there, we got the Warhammer, and we also have Silent River's Shadowhawk up there. The only enemies up there, there's a Vedetti and a Hermes that just kind of been causing issues, especially after that Locust kind of got decimated. I do still have a couple of the other guys up from the top kind of ringing around there, but they're not really in range yet. All I did, the most risky thing I did is I took Silent River and I basically jumped him right in front of the Vedetti, getting ready to fight it, and the Hermes came and stood right on top of the, there. So they're kind of grouped up there in that same square or hex. And the Warhammer is moving down. I don't remember how close he gets quite yet, but he's heading this way. And that kind of brings us to where like, a lot of the action, at least for the movement stage is going on, is in the southwest. The first thing we had happen was Scorpion. She was in the Mercury. She was down. I kind of looked to see what it would take for her to get up. I said, no, it's not worth it. It's kind of the same situation. Actually, she was in a worse situation than Foolish Bear because she was already internal, had lost a leg. So there was just really no feasible way she was ever going to get up. So I didn't even try. So we did a ejection roll, and as you can see, all the modifiers kind of basically still all added up to 11. She needed 11 to eject safely. Okay, well, she did eject, and she was successful. She did take damage, but she only took 1 point of damage. And at the end of this video, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. But for now, she's out and about. She's out in this sandstorm blowing, but she's alive. She is like right next to a fire starter, which could capture her. And she's not too far away from those infantry. So she's not in a great way, but speaking of those infantry, they haven't moved a muscle since this all started, and I'm kind of thinking that it's the sandstorm that's causing it. I think we looked at the rules last video, and it was a situation where they could move or they could fire, but not both. There may be something more going on with them because they kind of have that stationary, well, you know, the quote-unquote stationary medium laser they have access to. But they've not fired it, they've not moved, they haven't done anything. So it may be the sandstorms are really messing with them. In any case, for now, Scorpion is fine. She has 2 hits. The only other thing that's happening in the southwest quadrant was the Phoenix Hawk. I had it move down to try to corner that Scorpion, and he actually jumped up on top of a 3-story building. A level 3 building, which I think is 6 stories, come to think of it. But there's something like that. And also I had Bonnie and her dragon. She's starting to charge down that way. Well, a little bit more carefully. I had her walk because I wanted to hopefully give her some kind of a little bonus to hit. I mean, she's not great. She's not great at gunnery. She's still a green pilot. But that's where we are now. So let's go ahead and move on into the gunnery phase. All right, Wolverine. Our Wolverine fired at that locust. They're just pouring damage in on it. It's probably going to die. Scorpion fired at our Phoenix Hawk and missed. Our rifleman fired at that locust. Is it dead yet? Please let it be dead. There we go. It's dead. It's not going to stop them from firing at it some more. The machine gun hit my Shadowhawk in the left arm. It's fine-ish. Ooh, he fired at that Phoenix Hawk and missed completely. Just generated a lot of heat for himself. Good job. Vedetti hit my Wolverine in the left torso. Down to 5 armor in that torso. That ain't great. Warhammer fired at the Thunderbolt. Hit it to the PPC. Just one of them. That's something. It's reduced its armor. Still got plenty in there. The Fire Javelin fired at the Wolverine, hit him twice with 2 medium lasers. The Thunderbolt, our Thunderbolt fired at that locust. Okay, you're pouring damage on it. Phoenix Hawk fired at Cowboy and the Griffin, missing. Our Phoenix Hawk hit the Scorpion. It's immobilized. Don't have to do anything more to it. We just need to survive this fight. I can back off everybody. Hope our allies don't somehow kill him. Hermes fired at our Shadowhawk, hit him in the leg a couple times. One problem with calling ourselves half PPC while travel, I keep thinking they're hitting with PPCs. No, medium laser and a flamer, generating some extra heat on that Shadowhawk. Our dragon missed. Hermes hit the Wolverine a little bit more. Left leg. They've been really hitting a lot more in that left leg. They're probably going to kick him too, which is going to generate even more damage to that leg, possibly. I'm probably going to need to back him off quite a bit. Firestarter on our Phoenix Hawk. Fired a medium laser, hit the left torso. Everything else is fine. Cowboy hit the PPC on the Thunderbolt right torso, destroying his searchlight. Take that, I guess. He's taking 20 points of damage too. He has to do a roll. Shadowhawk on the Hermes, hit with one missile in the right leg. There's Shadowhawk on our Wolverine, hit center torso. She's very... we need to really back her off. Armor destroyed on the left leg. Yeah, she's internal on this leg. She took a PPC hit from the Vindicator. Right arm is also stripped. AC5 hit on the left torso, one armor remaining. SRM6. Oh, I'm sorry, that's our Wolverine against that Stinger. The SRM6's left leg, critted that leg, did a couple motive damages. Center torso got stripped a little bit, right leg, and also right arm. With the medium laser, also followed up center torso. It has no more internal structure or armor on the center torso. It's going to fall. We've done 20 points of damage, and we did a lot of damage to that leg. The Griffin on our Phoenix Hawk missed. Their Thunderbolt on our Griffin missed. With that, the LRM-15 hit. It's internal on... Oh, this is the Lyran Commonwealth officer. We really don't want to lose him. The Wasp fired at Cowboy. It looks like he missed. Spider missed the Dragon. The Wolverine falls. Great. She's also hurt a little bit. Is still conscious. I don't know if I'm going to be able to extract her very easily. Thunderbolt, still... No, he fell. Good. Hit his head in the fall. Still conscious. Took 2 points of damage to the head because one from hitting the head and also from actually landing bad. Stinger fails. Left torso, armor destroyed. Critical hit on a heat sink. He's also hurt. He's going to have a hard time getting back up. Okay, who are we looking at here? I want to target the Hermes. Give him a kick. Let's kicky fight each other. This Griffin, go ahead and see if you can give him a kick. You need a 10. Let's not do that. Let's punch him a little bit. An 11. Okay, Shadowhawk kicked the Hermes. It's got 3 armor remaining. Hermes kicked me in the right leg. I have 8 armor remaining. Physical attack for the Griffin missed. Kind of expected that. Our Shadowhawk still stands, and so does the Hermes. Alright, next round. They are generating quite a bit of heat. We're in a pretty bad spot. We did not win initiative. What are we down to? 79%. Or 80% basically. Lyran Commonwealth is fine. The officer's fine. They're down to 80%. The designated target is 54%, but he is immobilized. He's crippled. All right, here we are starting the next phase. As at this point, I've kind of merged the quadrants kind of into halves. So we kind of have the west side of the map and the east side of the map. With a little bit of the central, but east and west is how we're going to do it. We're going to start in the west. First thing we did is I had the Phoenix Hawk jump away from the center. Now that the Scorpion is disabled, I no longer need to keep him in there. And they were trying to kind of flank him with the fire starter and the Griffin. So best get him out of dodge. Although when I did it, the Vedetti happened to also just move right next to him. So he should get some maybe some physical attacks in on it this coming turn. Let's see. Our mech warrior Scorpion. I'm trying to get her into a building into cover. I can't quite get there this turn, although I get her closer to a building. Silent River and his Shadowhawk. I noticed the Hermes kind of like. Pardon me. I noticed the Hermes moved up into a building and kind of facing the river, kind of facing the center of the map. So I ended up moving Silent River and his Shadowhawk up kind of behind him. He's got a good rear shots on. Well, he'll potentially have good rear shots in on that thing. Meanwhile, I had Bonnie and her dragon. She's more or less trying to get over to the east side of the map now. I'm trying to keep her at range just to give some supporting fire because it's mostly long-range weapon on that thing anyway. That's useful. Although there is a spider now, like just running around there, just kind of in the center of the map where she's at. Matter of fact, I believe it gets into melee range. On the other side, on the east side of the map, well, first of all, the Stinger just decides to eject. The mech is disabled, and the pilot wasn't going to try and take any chances. Unfortunately, Boss Lady is also having a lot of trouble. She tried to get up and failed, fell back down. Unfortunately, didn't hurt herself. On our second attempt, I did manage to get her between two buildings, but it's only one hex of movement, so it's not going to have any kind of modifiers. Hopefully, we'll be able to block some line of sight, but I kind of doubt it. I noticed the Thunderbolt was prone, and I wasn't sure why. So I had Bookworm and his Shadowhawk move kind of just straight down and right behind it, trying to get some good shots in on a prone mech. I also then attempted to have Cowboy and his Griffin just do a death from above on it. It's like, well, heck, why not? Because I was going to have trouble moving it anyway. But it was at that point I got an error that said, hey, this thing hasn't moved yet. So, oops. So instead of what I did with Cowboys, I moved him a lot more conservatively, kind of get more in a sniper position, which is what a Griffin should be doing anyway. Although he's not a very good shot, so even at range, the Sandstorm, he's having a lot of trouble. But yeah, the Thunderbolt did go ahead and get up, and it's now flanking a Bookworm in melee range. Also, that Locust kind of moved around that was next to him and is also kind of right up in his grill. But we're going to see how that works out here shortly. Oh, and one thing before we move on into the White with Fireface is this video is probably going to end up being short. I'm going to leave it short. I would very much appreciate your comment. Do you like this method of doing this? Just kind of skipping some of the silences and some of these long drawn out pauses, just to kind of give you a little bit more of a strategic overview. It'll save some time in the long run. We'll be able to do more turns per video, is my hope. But please let me know what your thoughts are on this, and let's get back into the weapons fireface. Okay, Flashman missed. Of course he did. Probably the most powerful unit on here. He keeps missing everything. Vedetti missed us. Warhammer hit one of the Hermes with the PPC, stripping a lot of his left torso armor off of it. They missed. Our Thunderbolt hit their Thunderbolt with a bunch of LRM-15s, 9 of them to be precise. Right torso critical, unfortunately didn't do any critical damage. And also strips a little bit of armor on the leg. The Javelin hit our Wolverine, right torso rear. Also right arm. So we're very low on that arm. Wolverine, see, that's our Wolverine, our friendly Wolverine. Missed. Their Phoenix Hawk hit me with a machine gun in the leg, down to 3 armor there. Our Shadowhawk on the Hermes, firing in the center torso rear. We did puncture it, didn't do a critical damage, unfortunately. Stripped a little bit more damage with the SRM-2, and everything else missed. We tried. That same Hermes hit the Warhammer with a AC-5. The Phoenix Hawk missed with everything. The Wolverine's really getting shredded there on the left arm. Has a couple of critical damage. Do I even have any weapons on the left arm? I don't think I do. But it does make punching harder. A lot of misses there from Dreamer. see their locust on our Shadowhawk. Stripped torso armor off of Shadowhawk. Who's that? Bookworm? Bookworm has fired at Thunderbolt, hitting with a AC5, very low on the right torso there, and hit him with an additional SRM2 in the left torso, which has lots of armor. Free Worlds League fired, hit 2 missiles on the Griffin, left torso and center torso, still plenty of armor there. LRM5 also hit, left arm, still double digits. Griffin on the Vedetti hit with the LRM10. Oh, cool. He actually hit with that. So, unfortunately, hit the torso or turret, but didn't do any motive damage. Vindicator hit with a medium laser left leg. Very low on that leg. Griffin, Free Worlds League, firing at our Shadowhawk, missed. Boss Lady firing at the Phoenix Hawk, hit with 5 missiles. Some sandpaper damage. Medium laser missed. The AC5 hit the Hermes in the right leg. It's still standing though. Weapons fire for the Wasp at the Wolverine. Hit the center torso, down to 1 armor there. Thunderbolt on Bookworm. Hit with a medium laser, hit with a medium laser, and hit with the right arm. Very low on the torsos for Bookworm as well. I need to back him off. LRM 15 on who? Oh, that's still this Thunderbolt firing at our Thunderbolt. Okay. Looks like Boss Lady needed to roll to remain standing, and she did. Thankfully, for the moment. This turret's locked. I wonder why. Can I kick this? 8 to hit. Who else do we have? Dragon. Would you be able to kick that? Probably not. You probably wouldn't be able to stand up if you tried. Who else do we got? You're a slightly better pilot. It would be really nice to kick this thing. Give it a shot. You're not a ridiculously bad one. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. You know, I don't want to lose a dragon. And Wolverine, well, look at all this. We're probably going to lose her too. Can I kick that? Possibly. Let's give it a shot. Okay, kicks. They kicked our Shadowhawk in the left leg. The Shadowhawk, Bookworm, did kick that Locust. It's down to 1 internal in that leg, and it's just did motive damage. Phoenix Hawk on Boss Lady. Hit the jump jet. Phoenix Hawk, Trailblazer. On the Vedetti, okay. Front rate, lowered its motive damage some more. Searchlight destroyed, just did some more damage. He didn't miss, that's good news. Javelin punched at the Wolverine, left torso rear. You kicked the left torso, right? Oh no, limb blown off. Okay, so she's lost her leg. She will fall over. The Wolverine missed her kick anyway. The Spider kicked the Dragon. And then, what do we do here? We hit the shoulder of the Phoenix Hawk, or not the Phoenix, it's a Shadowhawk, with a kick. down to, I really need to change the color of the internal there. Can I do that from here? Actually, I think that's client options. I don't know. It's somewhere. I'll figure it out later. Okay, dragon. She remains standing. Bookworm was kicked twice, succeeded once, failed the other time. Fell over, did more damage to that arm. He also hurt himself in the fall. Wonderful. Boss lady falls because she's missing a leg. Destroyed the right arm. Taking some extra damage here. She failed this roll, so she had more damage done to her. She's still alive though. Locust was kicked, fell over, did some damage to the right torso, did damage to its gyro. He's probably not going to be able to stand back up. This locust down here rolled to avoid damage. He's fine. Well then, it's up to 11 heat. I just couldn't get boss lady out. I tried. All of our mechs are cool. Apparently I picked up an enemy pilot, even though I'm about to jump. Okay. Let's get into the beginning of the next area. We lost initiative again, so we're going to die probably. Let's see. Team 1 is down to 82%. Team 1 is down to 80-ish%. We're down to 67%. I mean, our unit that we're with, which actually has the good pilots in it, is still up and going. The officer, unfortunately, has taken some moderate damage. Now, as far as they are concerned, they've got 5 destroyed units, 1 heavily damaged, and 3 lightly damaged ones. And the target is crippled. I mean, as long as we survive the scenario, we have it. That's a big if. But we're going to have to find out more on that next time.
Now hold on. Before we go, I'd like to talk about something.
Okay. What's up?
It just don't feel right. I hate seeing Foolish Bear go out like that. He's one of our founders, and we barely got to know him.
Well, like you said, we never really got to know him, so nobody's really attached to him. I mean, it sucks, but what do you want me to do about it? It's just one of those things.
I know it's all part of the game, but in the last video you said you would look into it. What do the rules say?
Well, let's find out. Consult the Book of Armaments. Providentia divina autaiti vebabiati Blake. Tactical Operations, page 197, concerning ejection and abandoning units. Paragraphs 2 and 3. And Blake didst sayest. During the movement phase, a player may choose to have the mech warrior eject rather than move. Ejecting from a mech can be dangerous, and the pilot may suffer damage upon landing. The pilot must make a successful piloting skill roll to avoid taking damage, modified for the circumstances listed in the ejection modifier table. A pilot who fails this piloting skill roll takes damage equal to the margin of failure divided by 2, rounded down, and will need to make a consciousness roll for every point of damage taken per the standard rules.
Do I even dare ask what that was all about?
Well, those are the rules. When we go back and look, the reason he took 4 points of damage is because he just got really unlucky with his roll. He rolled a 2 and he did an 11. So that's a difference of 9. Divide that in half, you get 4.5 rounded down. That's 4 points of damage. So by rule, that's just the way it goes.
What if we didn't do that?
What do you mean? That's the rules. What else would we do?
Well, I was thinking, what if we made a new rule specific to the founders? If a founder is killed, we can still generate their wounds as normal using the advanced medical rules. The price would be the removal of the founder's tag. This would remove the protection in the future and also make them vulnerable to resigning. We, of course, could choose not to use the exemption for situations where survival would have been impossible or for narrative purposes. They would also still be a founder for storytelling purposes even without the tag.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I like it, but it seems a little bit cheap. Just because we lost a founder, I don't know. I mean, you're saying to generate the wounds as well. I mean, first of all, he wasn't a very good pilot anyway, which I guess isn't really the point. But it turns out Megamek does go ahead and generate the injuries, even if they die. So I already know what happened to the guy, and I'll go ahead and share that with you guys now, just so you have a better idea. He didn't get out of this scot-free. It's pretty bad. But, and honestly, if I did do this, I would probably modify that a little bit, because an amputated arm is going to take at least 3 months probably to heal from. As for the rule itself, I say let's leave it up to the viewers here. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and set up a community poll, and I'll leave it active until the start of the next battle. We still have several more videos for this one, although hopefully with some of the condensing I've been doing, it won't be as many. Then we'll have a little bit of an intermission, and then of course the start of the next battle. I've not recorded that one yet, so I'll kind of wait and see where the poll goes. So I suppose for now he is in intensive care and just awaiting your guys' judgment. So will we be following the words of Blake?
Or maybe you will choose a more heretical path.
Either way, it's time to bring this video to a close. So until next time, crash and burn.